here we are at the BMW Car Club of America Foundation. What we're going to do, I'm going to take you inside and have a look through the Genesis exhibition. But first of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm a lifetime member of the BMW Car Club of Canberra, been a member there since '85, been a member of CCA over here since '95. Before that, I was also the International Council delegate from Australia for 16 years, the last 10 years up until 2013 as chairman. I moved over here in 2013 and been a volunteer at the car club here at the foundation. The three components: there's the BMW Car Club of America with maybe up to 70,000 members, 69 chapters, some non-geographic chapters. Off that is the charity and called the foundation. It's a totally separate board. And then also separate, again, which I'll mention several times inside, is the BMW Classic Car Club of America. Come inside, have a look around, and I think you'll be impressed. Okay, so the best place to start is with the earliest car that we have in the collection. This just happens to be probably the oldest BMW in America. It's the Dixie that started it all off. As you all know, I'm not going to try and reinvent the history of BMW for you, but another technical details you can always get from the QR code if you visit the site. But the Dixie here moves on from the earliest car to the 309, a four-cylinder, and this has a fantastic story if you wish to listen to it online. People, I've met the people, and they have a very good way of telling it. We move now onto these beautiful roadsters. This being the 1934 315/1 of Dirk de Gruen. He's the president of the BMW Classic Car Club of America, also their editor. And this moves on to the 1936 319/1. This one's owned by the BMW dealership in Plano, Texas. And again, another example from Dirk de Gruen. We have his beautiful 328. And guess what? He actually drives that. That competed in 2017 Mille Miglia in Italy. And I think he's still smiling. We move on from the sports cars or the sports roadsters. We come to some beautiful cabriolets. This black one, very, very rare, a four-door cabriolet from 1940 at 335. And then this one, gorgeous. The colour contrast is fantastic. Lance White is the owner. He's the president of the BMW Car Club's foundation and has a wonderful collection himself. This 1939 321 example is just stunning. Okay, we move on, still with a cabriolet. This car here has a fascinating story. Not many people got new cars in Germany in 1940 for obvious reasons, but George Meyer, the famous motorcycle rider for BMW, was given this car in 1940 in recognition of his Isle of Man TT wins and other Grand Prix wins, and it's a fantastic car. And what I like about this is you have a look at the pinstriping, the colour contrast, I should say. You have a look at the pinstriping and it's all hand done, and you just don't see it these days. And then we move here to the 327/28, another coupe or coupe or hardtop now. Again, look at the colour contrast, the grey with the sweeping lines and the chrome. It's just very, very beautiful. Yet another example of contrast, pinstripes in this 327. But the big difference here, and I am not mispronouncing this, these two cars are EMWs from the Eisenach plant. There's a story behind that related to World War II and where the plant landed up in Russian zone rather than the Western Allied zone. This particular coupe here, again, gloriously restored. And then in contrast, further here is the 340/2. This car is virtually untouched. It's a 1951 car and very little restoration done on this car, and it really is just like a time capsule. And one of the things here that is really noticeable, no kidneys. No need to discuss or talk about the size of the kidneys because there ain't any. Up on the stand we have one of two Baroque Angels, and we've moved up to 1960 at this stage. Wonderfully restored, a great example of this particular car. There's a little one over here that's a little bit of a surprise, a 2800 CS. That's not technically part of the exhibition, but last week it was formally donated to the foundation by Lonnie and Luann Shirt, and that's found a wonderful home here. It's a very famous car within the BMW car club itself. So here we have the second of the Baroque Angels. In this instance it's Lothar Schuttler and his wonderful cabriolet from 1956. Lothar is also a member of the BMW Classic Car Club of America, and this is a stunning example, stunning restoration. But one of the most famous BMWs you'll ever hear from people that are into the classics, the 507. This example from 1958, white with the black top, absolutely another wonderful restoration. Pebble Beach entrant, this one. So the lines are classic, the whole car is iconic. One of my personal favourites, the 503 Cabriolet. This one has been restored wonderfully, I might add, by the Workshop, which is one of the main sponsors here of this exhibition. It's a great example of the classic lines of the year, of the day, and it's been just eye candy. This is a third in class at Pebble Beach, so true high class car. And underneath, you could eat your lunch off that. A second example of the 503, in this case a coupe from 1959. This car also belongs to a member of the car club, Classic Car Club of America, as does this one, the 3200 CS. This one is also restored by the Workshop, and it's a fine example of the motoring, coupe motoring in Germany at the time. As I said, 1965. This is our youngest car in this exhibition. A couple of smaller cars to finish off. Whilst a 3200 coupe from 65 was the youngest, what we have here is an example of a 700. This car really did contribute to saving BMW as an entity, and back in its day, a lot of them were aced. They were very competitive and fun to drive, and plenty of oversteer with the rear engine. Two cars that are sure to put a smile on anybody's face. Here we have a 1957 Isetta 300, front opening, another car that really contributed to keeping BMW afloat back in the day. To make this one a little bit bigger, they added 300cc brought out the BMW 600, wider wheelbase at the back, same concept at the front but 2 rows of seats. Absolutely just fun little cars, and they sparkle under the lights here. This one of the motorbikes I have a little story about. I must admit I know very little about motorcycles. This one is quite unique. Sidecar, it's got a differential, the rear wheel drives also this wheel. This is a 1943 example. Also the spare tyre, that fits all three, very much a utility. And after the war, these were actually, because of the drive, these were actually used for ploughing fields. And it was probably the equivalent of the Jeep. This was really used for all sorts of utilities, or in this case with a machine gun attached. And that brings us back to the beginning, the Dixie. I hope you've enjoyed that. I haven't given a lot of technical data. Sometimes it's because I don't know it, but the rest of the time it's to try and keep this timely. If you want more details, it's on the website, www.bmwccafoundation.org. Also, you can do another virtual tour there using the QR codes and listen to a story, 90-second story on each car about the technical details, its owners, and some of its story. And of course, all of this was made possible by the sponsors and the absolute generosity of the owners of these cars who have loaned them to us. They've been here since earlier this year in May. The opening was supposed to be May. Hopefully we can extend it a little bit beyond January, and we're hoping for May next year. But in the meantime, if you are a book person and you really want to have more detail and the story behind this, there's an exhibition book here, and it's full of information, photographs of the exhibits, and it would look good on your coffee table.